meet you up there in a minute.
Leading up to my daughter Gabby's birth, I was petrified of how this was going to change my life. But the second that I saw her face, she instantly became the love and devotion of my whole life.
Gabby has a lot of the goofiness of her dad.
My mom, she's more serious than my dad, but she also is really nice, and I love her to have bits and pieces. She holds it all together.
Finn is our youngest, who will be 5 in December.
He's a spaz. He likes to fight a lot. He's crazy. My dad is like a big kid. And he is, immature.
I've been a first grade teacher my whole life. I surfed for my whole life. My whole life has been about being a big kid.
It seemed like a natural thing for me to do to get involved in teaching surfing, and one of the things I wanted to do was to do a lot of charity work and try to get special needs children into the water. And so basically I started into a Jack Surf School and then began doing charity surf camps for those in need.
He being a teacher and being so good with kids and the surfing as his passion, this is like the perfect calling for Jack.
I went to a Jesuit high school, it was a Catholic high school, and the motto of the school was to be a man for others. We had to do community service. Sometimes it was not very pleasant. I think I remember complaining to one of the priests saying, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. You know, this is really difficult. And he said, well, that's good. That's exactly, that means you're in the right place.
And we're getting ready to do our third trip to India to take orphan girls surfing. The last 2 years, we've gone for a week and worked with one orphanage, and it's been really successful. The girls have really had a great time.
Look at those beautiful red boards.
Gabby is 9 years old. She's worked really hard at the surf camps, and she's become a pretty good instructor. I decided that this year I was going to take her to India with us.
I am going to teach Indian girls how to surf, swim, and maybe I'm going to play with them a little.
As Gabby and I planned this trip out, we started thinking of other trips we could take. After India, she'll have surfed in the Indian Ocean, and then in the middle of July, when we go to Half Moon Bay, she'll have surfed in the Pacific Ocean, and we'll be doing a lot of our surf camps right here at Wrightsville Beach. So she'll have surfed in the Atlantic, but all those go well. We're planning to go to Norway. So 2012, Gabby and I have set a goal for ourselves to do a surf camp and surf ourselves in all 4 oceans.
March 22nd fundraiser. I think it's going to have some music, some dancing. All the proceeds are going to this trip, though. It'll be a great chance for us to get to tell a lot of people that may not know anything about us, what we're doing, and anything about this trip. And I think the history of the trip and how it started and where it's gone is a great story. So what I'm going to do is, and I already mailed it to Brandon, I have a pretty good list of media contacts that once we get a good press release that has, well, tells the India trip plus the upcoming fundraisers, blast that out. And then the last one, March 25th, that's a Sunday. That's the Sunday before we leave on Friday. That's at Wilmington Wine. It's a bon voyage, just a fundraising party at this wine shop where it's going to be raffles, silent auctions.
We started planning for the trip the day after we got back from India the last time. Jack and I literally spent the entire year planning, fundraising, doing everything we needed to make sure that this trip happened.
The surf school is his baby. I mean, he started it, and I think it is where it is because of his passion in it.
Big clap for a job well done this week.
So he's on the phone nonstop. I mean, nonstop, coordinating things, coordinating this trip, coordinating what he's doing, you know, for the week for the for-profit surf school, not to mention the non-profit charity camps that he runs in the evening. And I'm at home then taking care of things and with the kids and with work. It's a little bit of a source of stress for me. I always get a little stress when Jack's about to leave, especially across the oceans. I'd like to go myself, but I think it's just not, it's just not financially possible. And our youngest, Finn, is maybe a little bit too young. He doesn't have all the shots. He'd probably have to get like 20 or 30 shots just to be able to get across the ocean to any country.
Tell about what we're going to do this afternoon.
Shots, and I'm not excited for that.
Oh, one of them goes back here. One of them goes right here.
Look at
okay?
me, Gabby.
I'm scared.
Yeah, don't look at it. Look somewhere else.
You want brother to come hold your hand? Will you come around here and hold her hand? All right, here we are. This one goes back here. 1, 2, 3. It's the worst part. You did great. 1, 2, 3. Good job, Tyler. We're done. That hurt. Not too bad. You did great.
How was it, Gabby?
Good.
Just got this email that India had some kind of internal chaos. Jack, this may affect your second week. This is happening because the government has been in chaos and the schools were closed for weeks and the school year is extended. I'll check, Paul. This area apparently shut down the schools for a time and are now planning to make up the exams during the time that we were planning to do the surf camp in that second week. So we bought tickets on Thursday, and that was about $10,000 worth of tickets. So we have the crew of people going. We have another $1,500 to spend on boards, shipping, and then there should be no expenses until we actually leave. And then there's housing and feeding the girls, the transportation that we got to pay for. So that could potentially be another $10,000. That will be almost deadly for our program if we don't raise in the next 2 months some additional funds. We've put a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a lot of time into trying to expand this program to reach more girls, and man, it just seems like things are stacked against us right now. So we're going to find some things out, and we're going to keep plugging forward, but I'm a little bit nervous about how this one's going to go. The idea for Indo-Jacks was to start a program of therapy using surfing to help all sorts of special needs kids. I had seen surfing used with autism. You can kind of maneuver the board and stay in even when it's barely breaking. And I kind of wanted to take that concept and apply that to other special needs. So I started Indo-Jacks, but not knowing any better, I started a business. And first thing we ever did was a surf camp for kids with AIDS. And it was exactly what I was trying to do. They went out and had a great time and succeeded at something that was really difficult and something that they probably never imagined doing. The gleams, you know, in their eye, the smiles on their faces. I knew then, that very first camp, that this is exactly what I wanted to be doing. Only problem is I had started a business, and so I had to use the business to pay for all the charity, not realizing I should have started a nonprofit in the first place. So eventually I learned that they were two separate things. Both grew, and so I kept the business going. I just added the charity to it, and now we're doing both.
Jack might as well not even be here anymore. His mind is on coordinating the logistics for everything that's going on in India, which is a little bit frustrating because I know he's gone for a long time while he's in India for 2-3 weeks, it seems like, and then already the week before, it's hard on us because we know we're going to miss him, and yet he's still not there, even though he is here.
There's me as a father, there's Jack the surfer, and me as a teacher. Those are definitely 3 different parts of me that I have to try to balance. What's been neat with Gabby is that I'm not doing one or the other always with Gabby. I'm doing both. Not everybody has it as good as we do, and that it's not okay to just sit back and do nothing about it.
I feel like there's, you know, not pressure, but there's a need out there. There's nothing for visually impaired kids. There's not enough for kids with autism. There's nothing for kids with juvenile diabetes. They're looking to us to sort of answer a lot of prayers, I guess. You know, this is a week that they look forward to. In the visually impaired camp, there's people coming from all over the country to be here to surf with Indo-Jacks. If we didn't put this on, there would be a lot of disappointed people. On the financial side of things, I cover a lot through the surf school. Let's say we have $2,000 in the bank account, but I'm going to spend probably $3,000 in wages. So I'll get a supplement that will help me, but all the rest of it will just come right out of the surf school, the for-profit, basically my pocket. It's a definite out-of-pocket endeavor at this point. We're not covering our costs 100%, but we're so determined that we just do it. It's not a very... It doesn't go over very well with my wife and stuff, but it's just something that I'm just driven to do.
If Jack didn't do these things, and if he was at home more often and not pursuing these things, I know he wouldn't be who I know him to be.
I was a teacher in California. I lived in Half Moon Bay, California, and I worked at REI, the outdoor store. And I was really into mountain biking and surfing when I was out there. So I worked in the mountain bike section at REI, and she happened into my section.
So I asked him, I just got a mountain bike, and I'd really like to go on some trails nearby, some rustic, you know, definitely off the roadway trails. And Jack was very, very friendly, and he drew me a little map.
She was looking for a map to a certain mountain bike place that I knew really well, so I offered to show her the trails, and so we went on a first mountain bike ride.
Again, I had just bought my mountain bike, so I wasn't like a pro by any means, but the trail that he picked was, I think it was called the Jackhammer, and as the name suggests, it was a very tough trail.
And that first date was a flop, by the way. The trail that I took her on was way too difficult.
The first part of the trail was like 2 miles straight uphill, and he was kind of like biking circles around me and trying to have conversations. And at some point, as I was just trying to breathe, as I was biking up this 2-mile hill, I said, you know what, I'll just meet you at the top. You just go on ahead.
She had a pretty bad wipeout, and she still has scars.
So he didn't see me wipe out, but it was fine. I survived.
She had a lot of things that I don't have. I'm that more like kind of loose and free and just kind of whatever. And she's very much structured and has a mapped out plan and doesn't leave a lot up to chance. I guess maybe in some ways it's the opposites attract. And in other ways, we're very similar. She has the same determination that I do. And one of the determinations that we have is that we're gonna make it work. There's no quit in our relationship.
At school, all the kids are gonna donate sunglasses and beach toys and beach stuff for the girls in India, and I'm gonna like take it and bring it to the girls in India.
These are all the items that St. Mary's School gave to me so I can bring to the girls in India.
Now, why are we bringing beach items for them?
Because they're going to learn how to surf and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so we're going to take them to the beach for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So these are all items that they can use at the beach, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, how about a smile?
I think the bag. Yeah. I'm sure we read the other one.
So we got toothpaste and fingernail polish. What else came? Cold beans.
Okay, let's start with the things we have to have. So if we get 3 bags here, let's go. Here, I'm gonna put that. And where's the bag you're bringing?
This one right here.
How come we can?
You won't want to. Okay. Daddy will have some here.
Right, I mean, I can take that one because for the 2 bags I brought didn't get packed.
Where'd you guys put it?
You ready?
Look, you smile.
Hey, he was born ready.
Okay, Mama. You sad? You sad? I'm sad.
When you're worried about the basic necessities, like a lot of these kids are, they're worried about food, you know, shelter and clothing, and just getting by each day. One of the things that gets left out of that, because you're in that desperate mode, is what about life? What about life skills?
Their summer vacation is in April and May, and at the orphanage there's generally 65 to 70 girls throughout the year, and when their summertime comes around, many of the girls have some place to go. When we go there, these are the orphans that have nothing.
They have no relatives, no town. Many of them had lived on the streets.
And they're stuck in this orphanage. They're well taken care of, but they don't have anything fun to do. And our job, what we do when we go there, is to basically take them on a vacation and try to capture some childhood fun that they've been missing. So are the girls all ready?
When we pulled into the orphanage at 2 o'clock in the morning, you know, both the orphans and the sisters were extremely excited about this trip.
Time to go surfing! Mr. Bean is back! Hey, look at you sleepyheads. Wake up.
First thing we did when they got there was to pass all the gear out to the girls. I mean, there were hats, there were shorts, there were everything you can think of that was collected by Gabby.
Gabby, have you been giving out the bags?
There was 10 of us, and we had all 20 bags filled for the 2 bags that were allowed. It was clothes for the girls, flip-flops, sunglasses, sunscreen, you know, craft stuff, things for the girls to play with at the beach. It was like Christmas.
I mean, first we got to get to India. Then once we're at the orphanage, we got to load up their bus, which pretty much breaks down every time we do this trip. When we get on the bus, it is just an absolute party. The girls are so excited to get on this bus and get moving and get out of the orphanage and do something fun. Almost all of the girls can't swim, don't get an opportunity to swim. Pretty much all of them have never seen any large body of water, and certainly they've never tried something like surfing or boogie boarding, and that's why it's just such a neat experience for them. It was neat to see.
I'm so happy to say that. I'm very happy. I say no, it's my first experience. In first day I stand and surf. I can't believe that.
I think we're giving them tools to be better than just subsist. I think we're giving them tools to be great. I think we're giving them tools to live a great life. There's going to be other days. We can teach you the life skills to be ready for those new days, and the self-esteem to go beyond just subsistence, the self-esteem to go out and grab life, you know, by the horns and make the most of it.
They trusted us. We said we're going in the water, we're going surfing, and Jack has a really easy formula for getting people standing up on a surfboard. You know, 1, 2, 3, and they're standing up and riding.
We get more out of it than the girls could ever hope to get. You know, they provide us with hope. They provide us with absolute joy. They really do provide us with a great deal more than we could ever provide for them.
The second day, I do little more better, and I enjoyed the surfing. And one of my ambition is to learn swimming. That I learned.
You ready to surf today? More surfing?
Yeah.
Of course. You guys are going to surf together again?
Yeah. There was this girl named Rena. Her eyes messed up. And the story is that she got kidnapped by these group of people. And then they poked her eye with a needle to make her, like, be a better beggar. She was really nice. I could really tell that she liked surfing a lot. Wanted to spend more time with her, but we didn't have. We only had 1 week and then, like, 1 day.
How was your morning?
Awesome.
Who did you surf with?
Rena.
How are you guys doing? Shredding?
Awesome.
We purposely scheduled more time so we could do more activities. We took them swimming at a swimming pool. There was the tsunami warning, and they cleared the beach. So we took them to a pool swimming, and that was hilarious because it wasn't a very big pool, and we brought 30-some girls all in life jackets. There was barely enough water space for them, and they all just came piling in the pool at once. Took the girls on elephant rides. That was a blast. 3 girls at a time would ride the elephants, and they had a blast.
Say cheese.
The scenery and what's happening around this beach is just, it's exotic, it's beautiful. When we came back and we had 1 more day, they gave us gifts. And their gifts were the same things we had given them when we got them. And Gabby asked me, why did they give us the same thing we gave them? And I said, that's all they have.
It's been exciting to see her grow up and to see her get more and more into the ocean. And maybe that's my defense mechanism in this whole thing, and that is if I can keep something that we share, that even though she's going to be gravitating towards her friends and away from Dad, there will always be surfing that we'll share together.
Go crazy!
Gabby and Jack were in India when Charlie was seized. Charlie is Jack's sister's son. It was probably about a year ago that Charlie and his mother were in, I think she had fled the boyfriend that she was with at the time, which was not Charlie's father, and they fled to a domestic abuse shelter. I think at the shelter, some of the social workers probably noticed that she was neglecting him, or she was probably being emotionally abusive to him. I don't know the full story on how he was seized, but she's just not in a position to be taking care of him. We knew from the moment that Charlie's mother was pregnant with Charlie that there was a possibility that we might be adopting. He fits right in. I mean, Finn is 4, Charlie's 6, right in the middle, and then Gabby's 9. So it just seemed the right, natural thing to do.
I think that struggles with the family are time, because Aileen is very busy as a lawyer, And Jack seems to get busier and busier with all the things that he wants to do, all the projects. He's always thinking of something else that would be really neat or really cool. And
I've gotten to that tipping point where the balance of kids and a full-time teaching job, president of the charities, and running the surf school has gotten to be just overwhelming. And so it's come to the point now where after 20 years of teaching, I've decided that this is going to be my last year, that I'm retiring. There's just not enough time in the day to be as good as I want to be at all those things. And it's definitely come to the point where one of them has to go.
That was Katie's last potato. She did not survive her.
You know, my dad called while you guys were in India. And just like the conversation with Charlie, he asked me, what's this thing I hear about Jack retiring?
Oh, God.
When he's here, he's not here, at least during the summertime. I'm hoping when the fall comes, it'll be different. I mean, that's why he tells me that he has retired from teaching, is because it's supposedly going to mean more time for the family.
Well, I've projected the numbers and sort of try to predict conservatively what each location, Oak Island, Wrightsville Beach, Topsail, and Onslow can generate. And the numbers add up. But again, there's no guarantee until the business comes in. I mean, business is coming in better than ever at this point, but you know, who knows? There's new surf schools popping up all the time, and I just think that it's now or never. Yeah, I can't keep doing both another year. You know, I will completely fall apart. I've almost fallen apart this year a couple times, and I'm not doing a great job at anything at this point. I'm doing mediocre at everything, and especially with the kids. I just feel like I don't have any time at all for the kids, and you know, we can't even keep up with everything we got going here. Laundry piles up, and
Well, I hope that this means that instead of all your time going to the surf school and the charities, that maybe
I'll never be able to take those opportunities if I don't have the time and the devotion to, you know, devote myself 100% to the surf school and the charities versus, you know, 8 hours a day teaching and then just trying to cram in.
When we walk in the door, I mean, you got no time for the kids. You're on the computer, You're on the phone. I come in and I'm like, where's Dad? Gabby's like, oh, he's on the computer again. It's not going to be easy. I mean, you had a regular paycheck and salary, you had benefits, and this is not, you've got to make up for the benefits.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, what if I get fired from my job?
I know it's scary. You're the one who does all the bills. I know you must be frightened. I know, but I also know the numbers are there. I really feel strongly the numbers are there to support it. It's a risk. It's a total risk. You know, the set paycheck there's something to that. You know.
Well, the flexibility would be helpful. Maybe you can start cooking dinners too.
Oh, maybe I'll keep my job. Whatever it is, it's going to work out. We're going to make it work out.
I know. I always worry about these things.
Don't worry. Don't worry about the money.
The bag? My backpack? Top of your head. All right. I'll see you.
All right.
I'll see you later.
Okay, I'll get Finn. Bye.
Monday, we have the dad and the 2 kids with 2 instructors. We're going to start getting calls on weekends. Do you have any room? Do you have any room? Do you have any room? It will probably end up being that everybody's working every day again, you know, like last year, so. Okay, you guys have a seat on the line. Welcome back. All right, let's do a quick review. 3 steps for surfing. What's number 1? Paddle. Long paddle strokes with your head up, looking straight ahead. What's step 2? Pop up. Right here by your armpits. Kind of relax. You're doing a push-up, kind of. It's a pop-up. You're going to push up, slide your feet underneath you. Am I surfing yet? No. What's the last step? Surf.
The nonprofit has really been taking off. Last week, there was a charity surf camp, and immediately the week before, there was another charity surf camp.
Next week, we are working with the Boys and Girls Club of Wilmington, and for 5 days, we'll be working with 20 kids that, you know, living in Wilmington, North Carolina, on the ocean. Many of them have never been in the ocean.
The kids from the Boys and Girls Club are from inner city Wilmington, like the downtown area in Wilmington. They're sort of stuck doing the typical sports that those kids do. Not a lot of non-traditional sports like surfing, and so this offers them an opportunity to try a new sport, a non-traditional sport, this sport that they probably never thought that they would ever do. We're hoping that they can go back and maybe use this experience as a way to be successful in their future life.
Sometimes they would fall down and they would just get back up again, and then once you see their first perfect wave, it's a really good feeling.
Jack and Gabby's involvement in it, I get a little stressed out. You know, I get a little jealous because I'm the one at home, and I get the questions from people and the praise about, oh, Jack and Gabby doing all these awesome things. And I'm like, no one says all the awesome things that I'm doing to keep everything going, you know, so they can do all these things. But it's hard to feel like I have a place to really say those things because of the great things that comes about from the program.
All right. You got some good ones today.
About 4 years ago, I got an email from my counselor at Division of Services for the Blind saying that there was an opportunity to attend a surf camp in Wrightsville Beach. And if I remember correctly, I think my first wave I kind of wiped out.
My name is Crystal, and my son Micah was diagnosed January 3rd of 2012 at the age 7 with type 1 diabetes. From January until this past Monday, it was like somebody had taken like the happiness from his eyes.
If you have the right attitude and you have the will and the drive, you can overcome a lot of obstacles despite having a visual impairment.
On Monday, when he came here, I said, Micah, I said, all those kids have type 1, just like you. Just in hearing that, it just, you know, he started smiling with his eyes again.
You got mentorship, education, you're building relationships, you're building communication skills. So there's a whole array of things that are being done here. One of the biggest and exciting changes that I've seen is there's more people coming. And this is becoming a great opportunity in the summer for people with disabilities and visual impairments. It's certainly something that is unique.
What I want to do is make surfing accessible to kids with autism, cystic fibrosis, the Boys and Girls Club, visually impaired, kids from Belarus, detoxing from the Chernobyl incident. What you see on the beach is like the fun, great time, but getting to that point can be really brutal.
Oh, hey, Gabby, are you ready? Do you have everything ready?
He's on his own schedule, and the rest of the family is on a separate schedule, apparently. He usually takes Gabby with him, which makes me feel definitely left out with the 2 boys now that, you know, we're just sort of off on our own.
Stop climbing up there. Don't worry about your suitcase right now. I'll get it down in a minute. Just start setting your clothes aside.
I do have to wrestle with myself the amount of time I've put into this project. I've made a commitment to making sure this trip happens and that it grows the way it should grow. And I think even though it's less time with my own family, it's definitely demonstrating to my own kids a positive way to live life.
I feel like he has taken what time that he had dedicated to teaching and just put most of it back into the charities.
I imagine for Aileen and the kids it could be a little bit of a flaw there, that he acts so quickly and he dreams up these fantastic things, which I think are amazing. I don't think he realized he has a whole lifetime to do these things. He doesn't have to do them all, you know, in the next couple years.
I don't know. It's just ludicrous. He just can't put any more things on his plate, and yet he still does those things. And I don't have a good reason from him why he has to do it that way, but it's his love, so I can only do so much.
You have to take risks in life to do anything that that you're proud of.
I like that he's passionate, and I love the things that he's doing, but sometimes it makes any kind of family security and structure, it just throws it out the window.
My wife lives a conservative life, and it's uncomfortable for me to live that way sometimes. If you're just trying to make your payments every month, and if you're just trying to live a, you know, that normal life, then that's okay. But I've never done that.
Jack has never been in that practical mindset. I'm the one who's at home worrying about the practical aspects of things. And Jack is always the one with these ideas. And
You do fast strokes like this? No, nice long strokes. Let me show you how you do it. Good body position.
I've always done things that way, and my wife knows it. It doesn't make her happy about it, but she knows that I do that sometimes, and just one of those things, you know, the status quo sometimes just not good enough. You got to push yourself out of your comfort zone.
You've reached Square Peg Foundation. Please leave a message after the tone, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can.
Joelle, this is Jack, Indo-Jack Surf Charities. Just wanted to find out kind of the format of everything and what we all need to pack for the trip.
To realize that, oh, he's getting the tickets and he's going in a few weeks, and he hasn't really broken the news to Aileen yet that he's going to San Francisco right around the corner.
I think Rocky offered one room and Steve offered a room. So
this weekend, for example, I had been planning for maybe even 6 months ago. I got some dates from some friends of mine who were coming down to visit. And I emailed Jack, having to email him to get it on his schedule. Just save me one weekend this summer is all I'm asking. My friends are coming into town Thursday night. They're leaving Monday night. July 19th, just don't plan anything. And, you know, 6 months ago, nothing was planned. And so, yeah, no problem, I got it, no problem, no problem. And then
California, where Gabby and I are leaving on Saturday, the 21st of July, right here at 6.
The 21st?
Yeah.
Jack, that's the day that Chris and Josh come to visit.
No, I asked you about that, and you said that they were coming.
No.
And then I hear that he arranged something with Rupert Isaacson over in California, which apparently Rupert's schedule is pretty packed. And I had told him...
They're coming in on the 19th, which is Thursday. And they're staying through that weekend, and I think they're probably going to be here through Monday.
You said by Friday they were going to be staying at the beach.
No. No. Why would I have told you that?
We're going to be working with a guy named Rupert Isaacson of The Horse Boy. He's got a documentary out about riding horses across Mongolia with his son with autism.
The information that I've been given is that they're coming on the 19th, and they're going to be here through the weekend, and then maybe Monday, the 23rd, they were going to go.
And I thought he understood everything, but apparently, I don't know, apparently he didn't, because it's Saturday night, my friends are still over, they've got 2 girls who are near Gabby's age, and Gabby, of course, is with Jack, and they're off. And so it cuts right into the middle of the weekend of this one weekend, the whole summer, that I just wanted him to sit tight at home. So it's a little frustrating.
Well, this is the calendar you were supposed to write it down on.
I gave you the dates. They planned this like 4 months ago. This is the one weekend during the summer that I asked you not to do anything on.
I got to do everything I possibly can because I got 3 months to do it. Because come September, it's all I'll have plenty of time.
When you say the money's coming from the charity, if it's coming from the surf school, that's your paycheck to the family now.
This project, and you knew this was a project with Gabby and I, and it's going to be taking place over the course of June, July, and August. I know India was in April. Everything will be completed by the end of August, and then that's it. All the stuff is done.
You get excited when Rupert contacts you, and you just jump without even thinking about how it affects the family. And now that this is your source of income for the family, I think we need to talk about it before you just jump into these things. I mean, you have this habit of jumping into these things that sound like great ideas and just worrying about the details of the financial aspect of it later.
Yeah, I know.
Or with people you shouldn't be.
You know, there's a lot of things that could have gone wrong. But I don't think you get anywhere by worrying about all that. I wasn't just reckless. These were all calculated risks. Certainly, if I thought if there was going to be a disaster, if it wasn't going to work out, I wouldn't have done it.
I definitely get the feeling that the rest of the family gets excluded from these events. It's you and Gabby that go to India, and then, you know, especially with Charlie coming, we really need to build more of a sense of family. And whenever you and Gabby go off and do these things, I feel like the rest of us are completely excluded.
Look,
I mean, you say the money's coming from the charity.
It wouldn't have been worth it to me if I would have lost my relationship with my wife. It would not be worth it to me if Jeff and I were not friends. It wouldn't be worth it to me if my daughter was miserable.
I'm just trusting that when your salary runs up with teaching, that we can still pay the bills. And I have no sense of that's going to happen.
Right. Well, this is a project I really wanted to do. I wanted to, when this came up with Rupert and this idea of going to California and doing a camp in the Pacific Ocean, and we had already planned, I had a plan to take Gabby way before.
So you and Gabby are going, and
Me
and Finn and us, we're just staying here?
Yes.
Okay.
Getting ready to go back to the hometown, Half Moon Bay. And we're going to be doing a surf camp with the San Francisco Boys and Girls Club. And we're starting to put together these surf horse camps with special needs kids. And this is going to be our first one ever. And it's going to take place in my hometown of Half Moon Bay, California.
You realize what the high and low is in Half Moon Bay for the next week? Tomorrow, high of 57 degrees, low of 54.
We brought sweatshirts and pants.
You bring socks?
Did you bring socks? Did you bring any shoes? Okay, we got to get socks and shoes. Let's do that now.
I think the really hard part is that my daughter and I come back, Gabriella, and we have about 4 days, and then we take off for another 10 to Norway. And so if you think about, we have about 8 to 10 weeks of summertime. We're going to be taking almost 3 of those up, and that's brutal on the family. And I know my wife's not real thrilled about that either, but... All right, everything's packed. We got mine and Gabby's surfboard, Gabby's bag. She packed herself. Hopefully we'll find out what she forgot, if anything. Aileen, my mom's going to give me a ride. I drew her a map and told her, but you know my maps. The funny story of how we met and my lousy map that I drew Aileen on her first date.
It makes me unhappy when I am having to deal with what I feel like sometimes is just we are second priority to him. Having to compete with that. I just feel we're going to lose if we do try to compete.
When I left Half Moon Bay, there was no direction or purpose with the youth surfers in this area. In fact, there was oftentimes a really negative attitude and a really exclusive attitude among the young surfers.
Since Jack is the expert on doing this, he's going to talk to us and teach us how to do this today. Tomorrow will be for real. We'll have the kids here, about 15 of them.
You all are going to be as good, if not better, at this than I am. I'm only here to impart a little bit of knowledge. by no means do you have to do it my way. When I came back, I was nervous about that. In fact, I told Matt and Dan to be ready for localism and stink and bad attitudes. And we met with Rocky Rayner and his Half Moon Bay Surf Club. What I saw was a complete turnaround in the attitude of the youth in this area. They're being raised to treat surfing as a fun thing to do and a tool to help others. With autism, which is what we'll be dealing with tomorrow, there's no answers. There's no right answers. Things are going to happen that we're not prepared for. Most of it is just going to go as smooth as anything, as any other child. And then you're going to have some that are just going to take off running down the beach. There's going to be some that are going to hit you, bite you, kick you, because they don't want to put a wetsuit on. They don't want to get in the water. I mean, the first day we got here, we had a day free, and we were able to find some fun surf. We got a chance to surf for a day. And then the next day we headed up to the horse camp, and we met up with Rupert Isaacson of the Horse Boy.
The horse ranch with Horse Boy, and we're setting up tents for the children that are coming to camp tomorrow. And then we'll start to kind of push them a little bit. Hey, you want to surf? And just try one wave and try to, just start tagging them on. I didn't sleep a wink the night before we did this because I was really nervous about how we were going to get the kids into wetsuits. When we work with kids with autism in Wilmington, we don't have to deal with that. And here, it is cold. It's been a lot colder than I remember. Okay, we're going to put the wetsuit on, Leslie. Do that, and you can sit down right there, and I'm going to help you put it on, okay? If you point your toe like that, we can get it.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of language skills, and he has a lot of hard time processing.
Okay.
So what I did this to show him. Okay. So like whoever's with him, if you model it first, then he gets it.
Parents were very helpful. The Half Moon Bay Surf Club kids were very helpful. And I think as a team, with all the teamwork, we were able to pretty uneventfully get them all into wetsuits. I've got their life vests on and their jerseys on.
Everyone that was helping out came down to the beach, and the autistic kids were like surfing, and then we had fun. We had these little plastic swords, and they started fighting, and it was really fun.
And to see those kids doing that, buying in hook, line, and sinker, and giving a full day to these kids that really needed a boost, that's exactly what having Gabby in here was all about as well. I mean, Gabby helped kind of with that, but more than that, she got a chance to see these high school girls that love to surf and buying into this idea of charity, getting to come back to where I started surfing and apply what we've done in Wilmington back at home was really exciting for me.
In the morning, they come to surf, the autistic kids, and then in the evening they go horseback riding.
I can really see why
people have been using surfing as a therapy for autism. It's very, very, very similar to the effect of the horse and all that white noise in the head and all that physical discomfort that a lot of them go through neurologically is being calmed down by the ocean in a very similar way to the way you find it with the horse. So it's completely complementary. I'm totally sold. I had my first surf lesson today, and that was brilliant fun. I wasn't very good, but it was really good.
The autistic kids, you know, I feel bad for them sometimes, but they can do stuff that we can do, and sometimes they can do stuff that we can't do.
Surfing here for most of my life, I forgot how cold and just how harsh the environment is here. It was harsh when we did the surf camp, although everything worked out well. It was a little too harsh for Gabby, I feel.
Say that to the camera.
So cold and warm.
It's got that burning ice.
Yeah. I want to make sure it's fun for Gabby, and I don't know that it's been as fun as the Wilmington stuff, and I can't take these risks at home either.
I'm excited to get back home and see my brothers and my mom and my grandma. Great big hugs.
Can you please put these over the side so that
not mine.
No, I just want you to put them over the side so I can wash them.
The situation at home with Aileen and the family and how difficult that's been, you know, with 2 weeks away in India, now a week away in California, we haven't even left for Norway yet, and we're already feeling the crunch.
She needs to get set up. Absolutely not.
It's
Okay,
one
so
thing when she's at St. Mary's.
I'm just not so sure it's the right thing to do. I don't know if it's too much for the family. I don't know if it's too much for Gabby. The only one I think that is really at question is this Norway one.
Right,
And
yeah,
it's more built for this project that I'd like to do with Gabby. And it's to me, it's celebrating my retirement. It's celebrating, you know, Gabby's participation in surfing and in our charity programs. And it's celebrating just the break from all the crud that I've been through and that we've survived all that stuff. So the thought has definitely crossed my mind, and I'm right now considering bowing out of the Norway portion of the project, and maybe I've bitten off just a little too much.
It would be nice if the rest of the family could be included in your celebration, because you continually pick these things. I feel like you're continually pick these things that are just you and Gabby.
Well,
Finn's at that age where he probably can't participate, but I mean, we haven't even celebrated our 10th wedding anniversary. I mean, what about the rest of the family when funds go for tickets to go to Norway?
This is for the surf school.
Yeah, that's the surf school one.
Okay. That's a nonprofit too, huh?
I run it like one.
Look at all the purchases. Oh my God.
And I've been keeping track of all the expenses. Which ones you think are legitimate Indo-Jack Surf charities, the ones that fall into our guidelines?
I mean, it's costing you personally. So we've got the
what did you come up with?
Wear and tear, equipment, insurance, and all of that is coming in at $300 a day.
For every camp that we do, every charity camp?
For every charity camp.
I never weighed that in at all.
What's left for,
After this, I just want to do that one thing.
you know, our vacation?
I want to do that one thing. I want to complete this project, this mission of 4 oceans, and then after that, I won't make any more plans like this without consulting you first.
The charity owes $1,120.
Okay, that's not on my
to the school.
Right. On my list.
Well, sorry,
but we need to establish if this is something that the Indo-Jack Surf Charities is going to cover or not. I don't know that I want to change the mission statement. I think we should keep a narrow mission statement. If it means Indo-Jack Surf School pays that bill, I'm fine with that.
No, I'm not fine with that. We would have to use our equipment. We would have to pay our instructors.
Right.
For their charity. It made no sense. My opinion is this. Indo-Jack Surf Charities was funded entirely by us. My cost estimates is that 30% additional came from Indo-Jack Surf School.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? My opinion is that we've got to stop commingling assets. Okay? And it's not coming to your benefit. It's never coming to your benefit.
It's killing the service. I mean, it's
killing the business side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Norway sounds cold, and I'm kind of nervous about it. And I've seen videos of it, and it looks like the waves, you know, like the waves are breaking, and then the wind comes back, and it looks like, oh, so cold.
They're off to Norway soon, which I know that if we want to go, we're always welcome to go. But realistically, now that we're a family of 5, footing the airfare tickets for 3 additional people is not exactly the soundest financial decision when there's other things that need our financial resources.
Yeah, we're going to be above the Arctic Circle in Lofoten Islands, and there's a surf camp there called Unstad Camping.
We've got this fence in our backyard, which is gaping, and the neighbors are complaining about our dog getting out.
They're going to help us put together a charity surf camp for special needs kids there, and in pretty frigid water, but it'll be fun. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I can't be spending thousands of dollars on tickets to Norway when I need to fix the fence.
You know, I know there's that sense of the 9 to 5, and this is what you should do, and as a dad, I should be doing these things, but I've never lived my life that way.
There's not much more, really. I don't have a lot more to really say.
I want to live a life that when I'm done, I look back and go, wow, that was cool.
Except for you didn't need it.
I don't care if I didn't make any money. I don't care if I was this or that.
None of this is things that are necessary.
I just lived life the way I wanted to and did some cool stuff and be ready to go when it's time to go.
It's a different type of drive in all this. And it's not about what's necessary.
Traveling to Norway was way harder than I thought. A lot of days. We left on Friday night and didn't get here until Sunday night late. Like 5 or 6 flights just to get here.
Wilmington to Raleigh. I think it's Raleigh to, might be New York, but to London.
It seemed like we had several overnights. We had an overnight in Washington. We had a night in a train station in London. And I think it was pretty hard on Gabby as well.
And then London to Oslo, then Oslo to a place called Bodo, and then Bodo we got to get in a helicopter and go to Lofoten Islands.
So it was just long and hard, harder than I had imagined. The weather is just, at best it's difficult, and at its worst it's awful. Got these long days, like 20, 22-hour days, and we're in a place that's really remote. There's not a lot going on, and so when we're not surfing, there's just nothing to do.
Well, if we come and meet and greet and all that, I don't know when the media people
The 24-hour daylight is killing me. I can't really get much good sleep. It just seems like it's one long day, and we're kind of like in this big bowl, and we can't escape, is how I feel almost.
All right, Gabby, today you gotta wear this over here.
I'm tired, Gabby's tired, Dan's tired.
It's cold, which isn't the worst, you know, you can handle the cold, but it's just nothing to do. It's just a boredom overall, getting some cabin fever here.
Yeah, this trip has definitely been one of the most difficult. It's definitely the most difficult part of this project that we've tried to put together.
why not come to Norway? And then just a chance to see a new place, maybe experience something totally different. Never been to Norway, have beautiful scenery here, and just come help people.
The camps have been great. The first day at camp, we had several teens or young adults.
There's the kids. Kids. Well, first of all, I'm Jack.
Kids with addictions or depression.
It seemed like they all had a great time. I don't know. I guess they had suffered some kind of depression and mental illnesses, so when they were out in the water, you couldn't really tell. They just seemed like they were having a good time.
And they came out and had a great time surfing. We had sunny weather, we had fun little waves.
Wherever we go, just to give people a new experience, maybe, hopefully, maybe one of the best days of their life, and have them learn something new or just learn something new about themselves.
It was neat that we didn't really know who we were going to get. Unstad Camping, they lined this up for us, so we really didn't know exactly what type of special needs kids we were going to get. They all had a great time, it seemed, and surfed really well. It's really not about surfing for these people here. It's about the self-esteem, and the kids that came from the mental health institution, the kids with addictions and depression and self-esteem issues, I think they really benefited from what we did. I think they left here feeling a lot better about themselves. They tried something that was out of the ordinary, that was out of their comfort zone. And I think that they'll carry these emotions with them and this self-esteem with them into other activities and other parts of their lives. Norway actually has been a real shocker to me with Gabby because when we went to Half Moon Bay, the cold there was really difficult for her. She seemed to be sort of not having as much fun. She really was reluctant to surf. And I thought when we came to Norway, this being a place that's much colder than Half Moon Bay, that she would that this wasn't going to work out. And it's been quite the opposite. She's made a lot of friends. She surfed a lot. Way more than I thought she would have surfed.
It's really fun, and I'm really stoked about surfing all 4 oceans, and it's amazing, and I bet none other 9-year-old have done this, and we're on all four oceans.
The expense of Norway is really difficult. I had no idea it was this expensive, and so it's tough to try to justify the good that we're doing. I walk away feeling like we've done good, but at the same time, it's been really just been tough. And like I said, I've been more than once ready to just pull the plug and let's just go home. It's been by far the most difficult leg of our project, and there's been no time in any of our other locations that I was ready to give up, and I feel like that in this one I was close to giving up several times, and it's been a tough one. We did this really cool hike. It's about 4 or 5 miles over a mountain and down into a really remote stretch of coastline. And it was not easy. It was straight up one side of a mountain. It was probably about 5 miles long, 5, 6 miles long, straight up one side of a mountain across the narrow peak
and then down a steep side.
If you look down, it kind of gives you the shivers, but it felt like you were touching the clouds.
And this beach was just beautiful, but really harsh. And the waves weren't big, but it was just gnarly, windy, foggy, rainy. You just really felt like you were somewhere that you don't get to travel often, or that people don't go very often. It really was a highlight of the year, and it just dawned on me that we had done it. We had surfed in all 4 oceans, including the Arctic. At the beginning of this project, everything was an unknown. We had a good idea that India was going to work out, but it went bigger than it ever has.
I really, Gabby's involvement in this will really help her grow into a very special person.
We knew Wrightsville Beach was going to work out, but even that went better than we had ever imagined. As a crew, I feel like we've fought through everything we've needed to. We've struggled and made it through, and I feel like we've made a positive impact all around the world and in all 4 oceans.
I think being raised in this kind of environment where you're doing things for other people, that's just a given, hopefully will make her more appreciative and not take things for granted.
You don't have to travel far to help other people, so you can just help people in your neighborhood, help people in your state, and like if you're not a needy person, your job is to help other needy people.
And my daughter was with me every step of the way, and it's to think that I spent some of these fantastic moments with my daughter. We had done something special together.
He just goes forward with it, and I see that in how he has taken Indo-Jack Surf Charities as far as it is now. Crazy ideas like going halfway across the world to India is a reality, and I think that's great for Gabby. Well, certainly after the summer and after something as huge as the 4 Oceans Project and coming back from Norway, when normally Jack would be returning to school with the kids to teach, he had time this year then to be at home, to actually then help with the kids when they were off of school. So certainly there was a lot of calm after the storm, so that was nice. It was nice to be together as a family again. I think we're stronger in a lot of ways. I think we have some new hurdles ahead of us that I think are going to require both Jack and I to deal with those. I've actually moved on to another job. I was laid off. You know, for me, where work is a priority to me, for me to all of a sudden have what I prided myself or felt like I could offer to the family, which was a stable paycheck and a certain amount of, financial support, having that swept out from under me, I was devastated. To go to Jack with, well, this is where we're at. I'm gonna lose this. Jack was very supportive about, hey, this is great. This is a blessing in disguise. This is all the great things that we can do now that you have more time. He always has a positive approach to everything. It is definitely the glass half full outlook that Jack brings of no matter what happens, we'll be fine and we'll make the best of it.
been an exciting year, but it's also been exhausting, and it's been definitely stressful and a strain in that we've been on the road a lot and we've been away from family. We're now getting a chance to kind of reconnect and spend time together.
So we're here in California. Since it's been a busy year for Jack and Gabby, it's nice to reconnect as a family.
We got a chance to spend time with one of my best friends from college, and he has a daughter Gabby's age.
Now you gotta open that right now, because there's a special prize in there for today.
Indo Jack Surf School. A gift. Read it out, honey.
From Gabby, one surf lesson.
So Gabby gave my friend Mark's daughter a surf lesson.
And then, okay, step one is paddle. So she's paddling.
You're gonna slide your foot over here, but make sure it's in the middle. You don't want it to go over here.
So it's kind of neat to see that at the end of this year of traveling and doing charity work, that surfing and charity has become completely ingrained in our lifestyle.
Well, I hope the next year means more involvement with the family. So I hope we get to go to India, get to go on some of these charity trips, and I do hope that we can be closer as a family as we get more involved, not just Gabby, but the boys as well.
I think anything worthwhile in life is easy, and you do have to, at some point, just go.